the big don't argue. Get off me, he says. Clear the tarmac. It's takeoff time.
Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play Podcast with Jordan Hughes. Hello and welcome, NRL Picks and Preview back with you once again. Another bumper rugby league weekend coming your way. Jordan Hughes with you, and my man, once again, the Japanese correspondent, Regan the King Mura, not with us today, but he is here. Regs, come in, mate. What are you up to today?
198, 6,999, 7,000. Oh. Hey, George. What's up, man? What's up? As you can see, I am still in Japan. So if I have bad reception, it's because I'm still in Japan. This is Mt Fuji, my guy. Woo! I've just done 14 laps around the whole thing, you know, up, down, around the side. Woo! 1 hour and 12 minutes, it says. Anyway, yeah, Magic Round was that good, George. Unfortunately, I could only watch the highlights as KO in Japan does not work. Also, neither does Sportsbet. Not allowed. Anyway, from me to you, Ohayo gozaimasu. That means good morning. So let's talk about Magic Round. The exciting moment for me was Tane Tuapiki and the Warriors. We've been talking about putting Tane in the team because the Warriors can't get a win. We put him in. Konnichiwa! Welcome to Japan! So we put Tane in and the Warriors get a dub.
Good to see you getting that work in, Regs, and mixing with the locals as you always do. Great to have our Japanese correspondent joining us once again. Busy man is the king. Great to have you with this, big dog. One of a kind, that man. All right, let's get into it. It was a bumper round, Magic Round, as Regan just touched on. In the tipping last week, it was a good one for the boys. 7 of 8 I went. The Panthers letting me down, and Regs went 6 from 8. Another good round from the lads. So the totals are, I'm getting ahead of you a little bit here, Regs. 57 from 88 is my record, and yours is 54 from 88, so getting pretty close as the rounds continue. So let's get into it. Once again, a big round coming up, NRL Round 12. The Bulldogs taking on the Dragons tonight, $1.57. The Dragons, $2.45. The line is 4.5. So plenty of stats and plenty of interesting storylines in this matchup. Both sides looking for a win. So the home team has covered the last 11 matches. I'm sorry, my apologies. The home team has won the last 11 home games, which is the Bulldogs in this case. The Dragons have failed to cover the last 8 away games after a win. Addo Carr has scored 2 or more in the last 3 or 4 games versus the Dragons. Should be a bit of a dogfight between these two, but I'm going to go the Bulldogs to win for me. Too good. Minus the 4.5, and I will take Addo Carr for a try. King, who you got?
Very close matchup. According to my notes, both teams are shit. I think the Dogs could score around with their centres wing, and if the Dragons are going to score, it's going to be through the middle. Look for Dogs to get a win at home here. I think it's going to be a close one and Dogs to win.
Next up, the Cowboys and the Tigers. The Cowboys $1.25. The Tigers $4 outsiders. The line is 12.5. The last 9 Tigers games have gone under the total points. Their last 7 have been decided by... So they've lost their last 7, but the last 3 have been decided by 1 to 12 points. So very close, and they're finding a way to definitely improve under Benji Marshall. The Cowboys' last 4 decided by 6 or less. Nanai scored in his last 4 versus the Tigers, and Holmes has scored in his last 4 or 5 home games versus the West Tigers. For me, Cowboys too good here. I think the Tigers will push them. I don't mind that under. Nanai for a try, and I'll take Valentine Holmes for a try as well. Regs, what do you got here?
This is a no-brainer for me. I'm going the Cowboys at home. I'm going to be looking at Drinkwater to put on a clinic. The Cowboys' shape is just too good for inexperienced Tigers, and look for that right side to score for Cowboys, and I think that's Braden Burns. So yeah, I'll be with the Cows.
Next up, the real grudge match it always is. The Manly Sea Eagles taking on the Melbourne Storm. $1.65 are the Storm. $2.25 outsiders are the Manly Sea Eagles. The line is 3.5. The home team has covered the last 6 between these two. 6 or 7 Manly matches have gone over the total points. Manly have won their last 7 home matches. Of course, the big injury, Munster, has been ruled out for the Melbourne Storm. So, got some work to do there. But I'm actually going to go Manly here in a bit of an upset. They fell just short against the Broncos last week, back at home. and I definitely like them plus the 3.5, and I'll back them to win as well. I do like Ruben Garrick for a try, as well as Xavier Coach on the edge. Riggs, how do you see it playing out?
Manly versus Storm on the Friday night as well. I think it's going to be a good game. Storm are going to be too strong here. They don't have Cam Munster, but Hughes is back. But Manly don't have Tommy Turbo, and Kula has just been injured as well, I think. So I'm going to be going with Melbourne to have a win. I did have Storm to have a close win, 1-12. Not sure now with no Kula as well.
The Raiders versus the Roosters. The Roosters $1.28. The line is 11.5. The Raiders are $3.80 outsiders. As we mentioned, the Roosters going down against the Sharks last week, whereas the Raiders, they came from behind and just got that victory against the Dogs. So the favourite has won the last 7 matches at GIO Stadium. Sydney's last 4 matches have gone over the total points, and Roosters have covered the last 6 of 7 following a loss. Dominic Young has scored in his last 4 appearances. It should be a good matchup, this one, but firstly, King, what do you think?
Moving into Saturday, Raiders versus Roosters. Raiders have been in good form, getting a few wins. I do like Rapana at fullback, Sebastian Kris in the centres. And the Roosters have just been in flying form. They did lose last week in a sick game. I think the Roosters are going to have too much threat across the park with Crichton, Joey Manu back, and Dom Young. I think Dom Young will score and the Roosters will win, and it's going to be a lot of points in that game.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Roosters to get it done here. I think they're just too classy, and after that loss, they'll be fired up. Tough place to play, Canberra. Don't mind the Raiders plus that 11.5 to keep it somewhat close, but Roosters too good for me. Next up, the Sharks versus the Panthers, one of the games of the round. The Sharkies $1.65, the Panthers $2.25. The line is 3.5. The Panthers off that shock loss last week, whereas the Sharkies, they've won the last 7 games and took down the Roosters last week, and a real title contender they are showing early on. So the Sharks have also covered the last 6 versus teams in the top 8. The Sharks' last 4 night games have gone under the total points. Mulatalo scored his last 9 of 10 at home, and Katoa scored his last 4 of 5 at home. So those two definitely try-scoring options for this weekend. Obviously, the Panthers without Cleary, the Sharkies at home, they are the favourites. And I'll back them to keep it going here. The Sharkies are looking the goods so far this season. I reckon Panthers may be in a bit of a hole, but I'll go the Sharks to win here, 1-12 for sure. Riggs, what do you got?
Here we go. This is a good one. This one's on Saturday as well. Sharks have been gelling really good, and they've been proving too good against top teams. This is another test for them. And the Penrith don't have Nathan Cleary, but they do have Sorensen back. I love Sorensen in the back row. I'm going to be going with the underdogs here. I think Sharks have just been gelling too good, and I reckon they'll get the win over Penrith just because as a team they've been playing better. So a bit of a roughie there, but I'll go Sharks.
Hard to split these two sides. $1.90 on both ends of the spectrum. 1.5 is the Lions. Of course, a big news for both of these sides is with the Rabbitohs obviously signing Wayne Bennett to come on as coach, and the Eels sacking their longtime coach Brad Arthurs. So both of these sides are in a real building phase, and they've got some work to do. So the South Sydney Rabbitohs have failed to cover the last 16 of 17. Obviously, both sides possess these try-scoring freaks. Sivo and Johnson, look for them for options this weekend. But yeah, it's a real toss of the coin here. I'm actually going to go the Bunnies here to get it done. I think the Rabbitohs are improving ever so slowly as the season's going on. So I've got the Rabbitohs to get a crucial win for them. Regan, who you got?
Now Rabbits versus Eels. Rabbits have 1 win. They're wooden spooners. Oh, I've got to leave in 8 minutes. Rabbits, they've moved Whiten into the halves. That's a really good mix, I reckon. Whiten and Cody Walker, that's what I thought they'd have in the halves, and Latrell at fullback. I like Johnson and Gagai on the wings so they can score tries. But I do think Rabbitohs have, they're a bit too big and slow in the middles there. They're coming up against the Eels. They're also under strength. They have no Gutho, no Moses, but they just have Dylan Brown. If Dylan Brown can take control, Eels can get the win. And they can win by just letting the Rabbitohs beat themselves. They're too fat, too slow, too lazy. Just by last week, they found some hope. I'm going to be leaning with the Rabbits. Let's just say Rabbits will get the win at home for momentum, change a game. Let's give them a dub. Come on, Rabbits. Going to Sunday, Broncos versus Titans. This one's a mad clash. I think the Broncos are way too classy for the Titans here. Walsh to get some meat. And Mariner for some meat as well. He just knows how to score. And also look out for Loffy for the Titans. That dude scores every single week. I played with him. He's a freak. Go Lofts. And this is David Feeder versus Old Club. And I know he likes to play against his old club and get a meat pie as well. So I think Broncos too good. Just a couple try scores there for you.
In the Queensland Derby, the Broncos $1.22. The Titans $4.50 outside as the line is 13.5. Reece Walsh back in the mix for the Bronx, and big news today, AJ Brimson re-signing with the Gold Coast Titans till 2030. So good to lock him in. AJ, one of the pillars of that Titans side. So the Gold Coast have lost their last 10 versus teams in the top 8, but they've also covered the last 7. They've been an absolute covering machine of late. 5 of 7 have gone over the total points in Broncos home games at Suncorp Stadium. Khan Pereira has scored in his last 4, and Cobbo has scored in his last 7 of 8 versus teams in the bottom 4. Broncos should cash in here and get the win, which I'll back them to do, but I will take the Titans plus the 13.5. This is always a danger game. The Titans are always up for this Queensland Derby. So definitely the Titans plus the 13.5. I'll go Khan Pereira for a try, Walsh for a try, take the over as well. And the Bronx should be too classy just in this matchup. And finally, the Warriors back home against the Dolphins, $1.90 each side. The point spread is a 1.5. The Warriors, a bit of confidence, and the Dolphins, they're riding high in that top 4, just keep on winning games. So this should be a real good matchup over in New Zealand, which they've covered the last 5 of 6 at home. 8 of 10 Dolphins games have gone under the total points. Jack Bostock has scored a try in his last 5 of 6 away games. And Fido has scored in his last 4 of 5 games. I do like the under in this. I really think it'll be a low-scoring, tight tussle. I'm just going to go the Warriors at home just because I think they've got a bit of momentum now and they will continue it on in a close match. But the Dolphins, they'll push them here, but I'll go the Warriors to win 1-12. Take the under, and I like Bostock for a try for the Dolphins. And Regan, how do you see this one playing out?
The Wards are at home. They can't play at home. We all know that. I just think that the Dolphins are proving too fit for teams lacking in fitness. So as the games go on, Dolphins fitness kick in and they end up getting the win. I'm going to be going with the Dolphins to get the win over in NZ and the Hammer to score. So that's my picks for the week. Hope you enjoyed. And this is me back at Mt Fuji. I've got about 6 more laps. Could probably get 6 more laps in the next 8 minutes before my bus tour goes. I don't know why this says tour and chart, but it should say sensei. Anyway, George, thanks for tuning in. Here's a handstand. Arigatou gozaimasu. Hey!
So there it is, round 12 in the books for NRL picks and preview. Great to have the efforts of our Japanese correspondent over in Japan, enjoying his time and getting the work in, as we've just seen, giving us some money picks as well. Plenty of options for you this weekend. We'll be back together next week when he makes his way home from Japan. So enjoy your weekend of rugby league, and until next time, bye for now.